Hi, Runner Story family. This is Allison Gilliard with Runner Story, where every story needs to be heard. And I'm so excited to share with you guys that this month our run stories are being powered by the Wagner's Run Walk. So excited. I absolutely love these guys. They are your go-to destination for quality footwear in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Roll Tide! With over 70 years in business, Wagner's Run Walk combines the latest trends in performance and lifestyle footwear with the same exceptional customer service that has started it all. They carry top brands from Hoka, On, Brooks, my favorite Asics, New Balance, and plenty more, helping everyone from the seasoned marathoners to those just starting their fitness journey find that perfect fit. We all know chef's kiss when you find that perfect fit. Whether you're chasing that PR, prioritizing comfort, or taking your first steps toward better health, the Wagner's Run Walk team is ready to help. And they are phenomenal human beings there at Wagner's Run Walk. So guys, shop in store in Tuscaloosa or online at wagnersrunwalk.com. And you can use code RYS10, that's RYS10 for 10% off your first purchase. So visit our friends at Wagner's Run Walk and cross that finish line in style. And I'm so excited because they are doing a training program at Wagner's for the Tuscaloosa Half and 5K. If you haven't signed up, you should. Again, code RYS15. Check it out at Fresh Junkie. Well, I'm so excited because, one, I love running in Tuscaloosa. Anytime I get to go visit Wagner's in Tuscaloosa, it's like coming home. It's amazing. I absolutely love that store. I love the people. Tammy, Maddie, and just everyone's phenomenal there, just the whole staff and crew. And they are doing a training program for Tuscaloosa. And while I was there, this is where I met Riley Strickland, who is going to be sharing her story. What a cool human being. I got to hear her speak because they were doing a session on strength training. So like the importance of strength training, how to take care of your body as you're putting in the longer distances. And Riley was there. She works at the local YMCA, which is partnered with Wagner's. And it was so much fun hearing her talk. And she was sharing part of her story, going from a half marathoner to ultra marathoner. Yeah. And I was like, man, I got to get to know her. And so went up to her, talking to her, and I just was like, she's fun. She will be fun on this podcast, and you guys are going to love her. My favorite thing about Riley is, guys, she carries her banana in her sports bra. Like, it's great. She is just a ray of sunshine, and she loves people. She's a CrossFitter. She's a runner. She is a personal trainer. The girl has goals, and she has goals for community, and I just love that. And she has such a passion for helping others. And so you guys will get to hear her. She is, just so fun. Just, like I said, a ray of sunshine. She's just absolutely amazing. So thank you, Raleigh, for sharing your story, your guidance, and just all the things. We even talk about an ice bath, and I am not hardcore like Riley, who will go all in, like head to toe in that ice bath. I'm up to the shoulders. Riley, you're amazing. So thank you so much to Wagner's for introducing us. And thank you to Wagner's Run Walk for believing in Runner's Story. They absolutely love this podcast, and we love Wagner's Run Walk. I love shopping there, so definitely check them out. If you happen to be in Tuscaloosa, go by there. It's a beautiful store. It's a beautiful place to run, and I am so excited about seeing my friends. I love talking to them all the time. They are amazing, so definitely go check them out. Definitely thank them for partnering with Runner's Story. Again, we're here in Mobile. They're in Tuscaloosa. They're absolutely amazing. You can go online and shop. That's what I do. And every time we're in Tuscaloosa, I go to Wagner's. So definitely check them out. Thank you again, Riley, for sharing your story. All right, guys, lace up those running shoes and go run with my friend Riley in her run story.
Well, thanks, Raleigh, for being on the podcast.
Absolutely.
We just met at the Wagner's in Tuscaloosa, which, such a good running store.
Absolutely.
And you, which I'm sure you're going to dive into later on, but you work at the YMCA. And so you were out there talking about strength training and how important it is for runners. And you gave some tidbits, that sort of thing. Yep. But the reason why I was like, well, I got to get on the podcast is because you're a runner.
Yeah. I think I am.
Absolutely. And it was really fun because of the short interaction that we were able to have. I got to hear a snippet of your story, but I don't know how it started overall. So how does your run story begin?
So it was, let's see, October of 21, I ran my first half. So me and two of my best friends, we were like, we'd never do that. That's a long way to go. And so they asked me, and I was like, I don't know. That's a long way. And they're like, well, we're going to start training if you want to train for it. I said, okay. And I'm very hard headed. So if someone asks me to do something, I'm like, yeah, there's no, you know. And so we started training. It was great. We started running on Tuesday and Thursdays in the morning, and there were a long run on the weekend. And it kind of just become like a little bond. We started learning each other more in our runs, just chatting and talking, and then planning out what we were going to do. So went through all the training, got up to the race, and we were all nervous. We were like, oh, gosh, we've done all the running, but are we gonna be able to finish? Like, we've never run that far. And so we finished, all of us finished. And from that point, it's been just growth from then. Like, we've continued running. I have now completed a marathon and an ultra and 7 more half marathons. So I say from 2021, two of my friends saying, let's try it, got me into the running world.
I love how you didn't even jump into a 5K. Your first race was a half marathon. And then rather than going back, you're like, you know what? I've done a half. I'm going to do a marathon. And then I've done an ultra.
Yeah. And that's what I was saying, back to my heart. Like, you get the runner's high, and you're like,
Sure. Yeah.
it was good, but I don't know again. And then I just continued to get the adrenaline to where I was like, I got to do it. Because I didn't think my running era would last this long. So I was like, well, I might as well try it. So,
I love that. So how did you get in with working at the YMCA?
So it was back in COVID. We were doing serve projects with church, and I was serving with this lady that had a connection with the Y. And I told her, I was still in school at this point. So I was like, yeah, I love fitness. I do CrossFit. I was running a little bit, but I was like, I'd like to be active. I've always been active. I wanted to do something in the fitness world for a career. So she was really good friends with my boss, Jeff Knox. And so she passed the word on to him and was like, hey, you need to talk to her. And so Jeff reached out to me, and I was like, yeah, I'd love to talk. So we did a phone interview, and then we had 2 in-person interviews just to figure out who I was, my goals, and everything. And so started part-time in September of 21. I was just like the wellness coach, the weight room. I would also, if anyone had any drink machines, but also like clean. And then January of 22, I came full time. So the membership stepped away, and so I was able to step right into that role. And so, yeah, went full time in 22, and then have just been here ever since. And it was definitely just a God thing, because school was never really my thing. I was like, it's great, but I'm not passionate about school. And so I was luckily able to finish. I went to Wallace State for my associate. I played on the softball team there, came back, but so it was just not a good experience. So I did the certificate along while working here at the Y. So that kind of transition, being full to finishing school, and I didn't do more school after that. I had a passion for what I do. So really just in 2020, through a serve project, having a conversation, and it landed me here.
Oh, I love that. And then that landed you to partner. You guys partner with Wagner's.
Okay, we do.
I absolutely love that because I am obsessed with Wagner's. Like, I just, you walk in, and I will say this. I loved how everyone was so like, oh my gosh, I love learning something new. And I saw like a ton of people coming up and talking to you and asking questions.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is what community is about. And so I love that Wagner's was like, we have this resource that you guys were like, we can partner together, and keeping runners and walkers on the pavement longer. because I'm a huge advocate for strength training. And so I absolutely love that. That was just such a cool thing to watch. And I was like, yeah, I got to get that girl. Like, I got to get to know her. So,
Yeah, I love Wagner. They're just so personal. Like you walk in,
mm,
you feel welcomed.
yes.
Stores, running stores are like that.
Mm-hmm.
Fun when you go in there.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So, you have obviously learned some things along the way. So, what are some lessons that you've learned from running?
So yeah, learned a very hard lesson from my marathon. I shared this a little bit at Wagner, but I didn't think strength and mobility and cross training while running was as important as it. In my marathon training, I had knee pain. IT band gave me really bad to where I thought I was like, I've trained all this time and I'm not gonna be able to finish. I had Jenny, the really good friend that was one that taught me into running the first half marathon. She's very knowledgeable about running. I was like, Jenny, what do I do? Like, I'm injured. I feel like, and so she's like, no, like we gotta read. I was like,
Mm,
so I started rehabbing enough to just get through doing mobility, stretching. She had me doing some strength training catered toward quads, glutes, also doing some knee strengthening as well. Ankle strength, because my ankles felt strong, but doing all the long runs, I was like, they hurt,
right.
they hurt. And so she was phenomenal, got me through that and made it through the marathon, but it just was not enjoyable. The environment was so good. The whole race was like, there was just energy throughout the whole race that kind of got me through it. I said it wasn't that I was physically prepared, but just the atmosphere.
Mm.
And so after that, like, I won't ever do that again. I was like, the way I felt after, like the whole next week after, my hips hurt, my knees were tender, my ankles hurt, and I was like, that's terrible. And so after that, I was like, okay, it can't always be like this. If it's always
Mm.
this, no one would run a marathon,
Mm.
run an ultra. And so I talked to Vinnie Moore, and he's like, well, if you ever do it again, you have to strength train at least 2 to 3 times a week to do stretching and mobility 2 to 3 times a week, and ice baths, sauna, all the recovery things, your electrolytes. So yeah, I learned a lot over the marathon, as in you can't just go out there and run and be healthy. There's strength training, mobility, and fueling. You have to
Mm.
properly throughout your runs, but also after your race and pre-run or pre as well.
Well, that's a great leadway into my question. So, what does pre-race routine look like for you?
So typically, I like to get there at least 30 minutes before the race, just because I want to be sure I know where I'm going, make sure I'm at the start line, have my done, have my shoes done. If I get there before, I start to get anxious, get nervous, thinking about, have I ran enough? Have I stretched enough? Have I drank
Mm.
enough? So I really just get there about 30 minutes before and just find where I'm at. And then while I'm standing there, like at the start line or around the area, stretch, do some agility type exercises just to get my heart rate up, but also loosen it out. Because one thing Vinny always told me was like, at that point, you've done all the things to get there. There's no, well, I've never been one to go run a couple miles before. Got it, but I've just never been that one. So I just like to get there and kind of punnies, butt kicks, lunges. I call them zombie kicks, up, and just get the joints and muscles engaged, ready to go.
Love that. Cross the finish line. What does your post-race routine look like?
Cross the finish line, first get food. Normally I'm always starving, but I really, it's just taking it all in. Like for my marathon and my ultra, my family was there, so got done, took all the pictures.
Mm.
And then those two races, they give you a finisher shirt, but it's an envelope, so you can't open it. I don't open my cross. So I finisher medal, get the shirt, whatever it may be. I love pictures. I love vacation. So take all the pictures. And then after that, I just try to get something somewhat healthy to eat, to refuel, something with protein, but also the carbs to give me energy, to protein's going to repair the muscles you broke down, but also, yeah, just run for 2 hours and a half or a 4 hour or 5 hour marathon, whatever it may be. So getting some energy back in for healthy carbs.
Mm.
And then if it's a marathon or an ultra or even a half, I'll go back. I'll always still do an ice bath.
Yeah. So for Christmas, I asked for a home ice bath. So I have one, and it's
Yeah.
crazy because you actually learn to, I'm not going to say love it, not going to go there yet, but you learn to appreciate it, I guess, where you're like, I can start to see how important this is. And I'm teetering on, I believe in this.
It's a love hate for me. It's more of like when you get in there, you're like, this is terrible.
Oh, it's horrible.
And if you ever get to the point of dipping your head under, it's like when you come out, it's just such a great feeling and you feel so relieved, re-energized. It is unreal of the experience. And that's what I tell people like after a race or a long run, like the way you feel after is almost something like you want to experience it. Like you want to almost cringe and die and love it, but the feeling you get, almost like endorphins you get coming out, it's just like the feeling of, okay, I accomplished it.
I'm not there yet. Just going to be honest. I have not dipped my head yet. I've gone to the shoulders.
Dip your head, and I mean, it's like a dip and out. Like it's just real. It's awesome.
I love that you think that it's awesome. Again, I'm doing it before I go to bed each night. And so I'm okay. We're starting the night off right thing. But yeah, I'm not there yet, Riley. I'm not dipping my head yet.
It's there.
I will let you know when I have dunked my head in.
Yes, please.
So, what has been your favorite race so far?
So my favorite race so far is got to be the one in Fort Worth. It's the Cowtown is what they call it. And they make a weekend out of it. So Saturday you have the 5K and the 10K. And then Sunday you have the half marathon, the marathon, and the ultra. And it's one of the most, I don't even know how to explain it like this. Like I was saying, the atmosphere and the neighborhoods that you run through, they're like so engaged. They're like tailgating out in their front yard. They have snacks for runners to run by and grab. The corrals at the start line, or I mean, you can just see like down like corral 15, 16, 18. It's just such a big event that, like I said, the marathon, that's where I did it at. And it was literally just the crowd and the excitement and the environment that got me through it. And so I did the marathon. Last year I did the ultra, and it's just so cool. So I had to do the half marathon this year. And another thing is the puzzle pieces for the medals are puzzle pieces, and they connect.
That's
So
cool.
it's almost like a little sucker into doing it, but they connect. So this year I'm going out there in February and I'm going to do the 10K on Saturday and the half on Sunday. But it's just, I tell my friends, Taylor and Jenny, I'm like, guys, y'all got to come out here one time and experience it because it's just such a high energy event. And
Yeah.
where that's definitely not just because I've done the big ones, the marathon and ultra, but just the environment. It's just so cool. Yeah, my marathon, I was almost done and I started like tearing up towards the end. And I was like, you got to calm down, get the race first. But just the like environment, it's just, I've always been a competitive person and I want to achieve a goal. And to be there and like the crowd and the runners and everything cheering you on is just, it's really special out there.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that.
That's right.
So, what is something that you will not go run without? Like, absolutely will not hit the pavement if you do not have this.
I know this probably is really, why would you say that? But my phone, is like one thing.
Sure.
If I don't have it, I feel unsafe for one.
Mhm,
'Cause if I need something, if I have an emergency, I just feel safe when I have it, that I know I can get in touch with my mom, my dad, my husband, or if I'm around somebody running downtown Tuscaloosa, I'm like, they live here. I can get to
mhm,
them. I know that sounds crazy, but I will not go on a run unless I have it. Even
mhm,
our sport runs on Tuesday and Thursday that we still do, I still have it. Like the two girls that I run with, they're like, we're not running that far. And I'm like, but I have to have it.
mhm,
It's something about it that keeps me safe. And even if I'm on a long run by myself, I know if something happens that
mm,
someone can get in touch, even if something happened medically, someone
mhm.
can get to me and they can make a phone call.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I know that sounds like we're always attached to our phones, but that's just something like I'm not comfortable if I
Mhm.
don't have it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Same. No, I completely agree.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Favorite running shoes?
The Asics Nova Blast,
Mm?
my favorite. Yeah, I had those my first marathon. I got them in training, fell in love with them, and I have 2 pair, and I need to get another pair. So I'm ready to get another pair.
And the color wave this year looks amazing.
I know.
Oh.
Yeah.
When you're at the gym and you work out, what's your favorite gym shoe?
So I like Reebok Nanos.
Mhm.
They're more of a CrossFit type
Mhm.
shoe. I like them just because they're flat. So if I'm gonna do any weightlifting or
Mhm.
anything, I don't roll around like a running shoe will, but
Mhm.
super flat, comfortable. I like the looks of them. Yeah.
Gotcha. Awesome. Let's talk about, you've already mentioned fueling and how important it is. When you go on long runs, what do you like to fuel with?
So I've done a few things. I've done Starburst. I've done
Okay.
yeah. I've done just for the sugar, like quick energy. I like Starburst, and then I also have done Raisin, and then I'll sometimes. This is gonna sound crazy, but I have in my long runs. I put a banana in my sports bra, and I've had a banana to eat. um, I'm crazy, but I have done bananas, and then I wouldn't suggest this, but I did cheese it one time. Bad mistake.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
chewy and dry, and I was like, "This is terrible." But yeah, for a quick sugar intake, I've done Starburst and Tootsie Rolls. Forgot to mention Tootsie Rolls, but then also just something a little bit more is the banana and raisins.
Wow. So what you should invent, Riley, is a sports bra that has a snack pack in it.
I know. I'm like,
I mean, it's just take it out.
I have a picture of me. It was during my marathon. I had it in my sports bra while I was running, and I was like, people are gonna think I'm crazy. Yeah.
That is fantastic.
Yes.
I've actually not heard or seen that, so
Yeah.
that is phenomenal.
Yeah. It might just be a Raleigh thing.
Do you have a favorite meal, like post race, where you're like, I have ran, I fueled at the race, but now I want to go eat? Is there like a Riley meal besides a banana during the race? Is there something that you're like, I want to go sink my teeth into this?
So I am a big breakfast person.
Oh, yes, girl.
I had breakfast at my wedding. Love breakfast. Yeah. So if it's my choice and it's like I can access getting breakfast, I'm gonna go get chicken and waffles. I'm gonna go get pancakes, eggs, some kind of meat, sausage, bacon.
Mm.
Yeah. So if I can get to a breakfast like Cracker Barrel or anywhere, I'm gonna go get breakfast.
Mm.
Yeah.
In Tuscaloosa, you guys have Just Love Coffee,
Mm-hmm.
which they have really good chicken and waffles, Riley.
I know, and guess what? They don't carry them on the menu anymore.
What? We were just there. No way.
On the menu, yes. I hate to bring that to you.
That's so sad.
I know. The first time I went, I was like, chicken and waffles, got them. They were phenomenal.
Right, right.
And next, however many months, weeks, whenever I went back, they were like, we don't carry those anymore. And I said, y'all
No.
bring them back. Yeah, maybe we should
We're going to start a hashtag, bring back chicken and waffles.
Yeah.
Just love.
have them anymore.
Oh,
Yeah.
my word. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, if Just Love Coffee listens to this podcast, we need you to bring back the chicken and waffles.
Absolutely.
That's amazing. When you run by yourself, do you listen to music?
I do. I like to listen to music, but sometimes I just get bored with it. I like to listen to different sermons. So,
Mm.
like the church sermons, or I'll listen to some kind of podcast. And I don't really have a favorite podcast, but maybe I'll start listening to this
Whoa, Riley!
I didn't know about this one until now. So I am going to have to start listening to have a favorite podcast.
There we
But
go.
yeah. So we can edit that out.
But no, it's staying. It's totally staying.
Yeah, because this is the first time Dawn meeting you at Wagner's the other day. So now I can have a favorite podcast.
There we go.
I've tried podcasts, but I like to listen to sermons. It gets me thinking about the message. So it just takes my mind off because I can just think about what they're saying. But if I do listen to music, I typically have some kind of Christian. I love Elevation. I love Maverick City. So normally it's something like that. But I think I'll have to join this podcast sometime. So run in and listen to everybody else's story. So
That's a very nice save, Riley. Very nice save.
yeah.
So let's talk about recovery, because that's really something that you mentioned and you've harped on when we were at Wagner's, but also you've hinted a little bit. So definitely ice bath and sauna. And is there any other recovery tools that you suggest or that you like using personally?
Not necessarily. Normally, for when I get done running, I'll do an ice bath. We have a good friend that has a sauna, so I'll do a sauna if I can. But really, I just like to go and really stretch it out. I like to get at least a 5-minute walk in after a run or a walk, just to get my heart rate down and just calm down after my run. But if I at home or wherever, I want to do like a deep stretch.
Okay. Let's talk about cross training, because super important. And you hit on that with strength training. Any other activities that you do when you're not running?
Yeah, so I have done CrossFit since I was 14.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm 25 now. It's been a journey. So I love to go and do a good CrossFit workout. And I really, all I know, like running and CrossFit's all I know. I do personal train some clients, but I would say I'm my worst critic. But some they say, but I personally don't think I'm as good of a personal trainer as I am teaching a CrossFit class. So we have hybrid here at the Y, which is our version of CrossFit. I'd say I'm a lot stronger in that case just because I really only know CrossFit and running. So, yeah, that's what I enjoy doing.
So when a client comes to you and they say, Riley, I want to get started running, what is a piece of advice that you give them?
I would first ask, have they started running yet? Or is this something very new? And if it's something very new, I would tell them to try the run walk first, because very few people are going to go out there and run 1 or 2 miles and be like, that was great. They're probably going to say, this hurt or that was hard. So I always try to start them out slow and just increase as they can to build their stamina. Someone that may be have been running, just didn't know what they were doing or confused. I just got them in what they've been doing, and just from my knowledge and learning over my running, I just keep them on their same path, but try to maybe advance what they've been doing and give them guidance and just knowledge that I've learned. But yeah, I would say if it's a new runner, just to stay at it, to not get discouraged. And even someone that's been running that maybe they want to be faster, like you will get faster through your trainings. You will get faster the more you run, the more you are.
Oh, that's so good. You've mentioned this, that the atmosphere has gotten you through when you're like, I want to stop, or this is emotional. But do you have a mantra? Is there something that you tell yourself when you want to give up?
Truly, I can give all the credit to Jenny. Through my fun training, there were so many days I wanted to quit. And even the ultra, there was days I didn't go run my long run. I was like, I do not want to spend my weekend. And she always said, never miss a long run. And the long runs are what get you through race day. So I would give all the credit to my friend Jenny on that. And then when you want to stop, think about the end result of what you want. I wanted to finish the marathon one try. Like, I didn't want to fail and have to do it again. So I didn't want to fail the ultra and have to do it again. Because I was going to do it again. If I failed either one of them, I was going to fail again. So through my training run on Tuesday, Thursdays, and the weekends, in my mind, I was like, do it. Do it for Jenny because she was really helping me through when I got hurt in the marathon, and then she helped me all through my ultra. My motto for that season was do it for Jenny, but now it's more of do everything that you learned and get better at it. So you don't feel well at the end of the run, the race, you mentally get better. So at the end of it, you have pushed yourself to be better mentally.
That's good. Be better mentally.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that. Do you have goals? You've mentioned going back and earning the third piece of the puzzle. But after that, what are Riley's goals? When you're looking ahead running, what is something else that you want to do?
Something this year for 2025, my goal is to run a race every month.
Nice. Okay.
So I've taken the time to lay it all out. So I have one every month this year. That's my seasonal goal for this year. But honestly, just to continue running and to continue my knowledge, to be my people. We have so many runners, so many new runners. So honestly, my goal would be to learn from myself to be able to help others run their first marathon by just all the experience I've gotten in my completions.
What's your favorite length to run? Whether it's a short day, like you talked about Tuesday, Thursdays, or it's a long run, whether it's a training run or it's race day, do you have a certain distance where you're like, ooh, I get to go run that?
Thinking about it, I guess it's more, I don't really have that one distance that I'm like, I love to do this. I was just talking to somebody the other day of like, I think my favorite race is gonna be a half because it's just long enough to where it's challenging. And it's enough training to where you're not getting burnout.
Sure.
So I would say my favorite race distance is gonna be a half. Now, to just go out and say, I need to get a run in, what am I gonna do? I love to do an easy 5K, get it in. So for just a fun, let's go run today, 5K, but race distance, I think I would have to say a half.
Okay. Oh, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
When you aren't running, what are you passionate about? What fuels you, Riley?
I love going to see all my friends I work out at Northridge Fitness, so I love to go over there. I get fueled back up. I normally go at the end of the day, so I love to get fueled up at the end of the day by seeing all my friends over there. But also, we're very involved in church, so we serve at our church. So be able to be a part of our church community. But honestly, the impact I know I get to make every day here at the Y, just members come up and ask you, what would help me be stronger? What would help me have more energy? I think knowing every day I get to go home and I made a difference. So, and I think a lot of that fuels from what I learned at church too, of what Pastor Chris for Church of Highlands tries to teach his congregation of making an impact helps me in my daily life. But yeah, so church, CrossFit, making a difference.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah.
Any final words of wisdom, my friends?
Final words, I would say if you're gonna be a runner, strength train 2 to 3 times a week. Recovery is crucial. And honestly, finding a running buddy. I wouldn't have done all I've done if I didn't have running partners. And just that support group, whether you run by yourself, but having somebody to keep you accountable Did you go run your long run today? Did you do your training run? Just having somebody to run it with or be accountable and just being healthy through it all, feeling right, keeping your body healthy.
Mm. Riley, thank you so much. I love that we got connected
Me too.
at Wagner's. And if you're in the Tuscaloosa area, go check out Riley.
Yes.
I highly recommend her. She is so passionate in person. And just like you can hear on the podcast, she just loves community and loves all the things when it comes running, working out. And if I was in Tuscaloosa, I would go to Riley.
Oh.
And I'm so jealous. You guys have such a beautiful place to go run. It's one of my favorite reasons to come to Tuscaloosa, not just because I get to see my daughter, but I love the area of Tuscaloosa to run, whether it's on campus or down by the river or through downtown. Like it is, oh, I'm so jealous. It's
It's a fun
beautiful.
run.
Oh, well, thank you, Riley. What you're doing for the running community is absolutely amazing and cannot wait to see you soon.
Yes, thank you so much.
Don't you just love Riley? She's absolutely amazing. Love, love, love her. And thank you so much, Riley. She's now my Tuscaloosa sister. That's all I gotta say. Like, I am obsessed and I cannot wait to go hang out with her again. We're already making plans for when we're up there for the Tuscaloosa half and 5K. I'm really excited because I'm gonna be running the 5K with my daughter, Bree, and I'm pumped because we're gonna run it and then we're gonna cheer on friends that we've met at Wagner's and friends like Raleigh. Like, I am so stinking excited about this. We cannot wait for March. It's going to be such an epic month and such an epic time just to be with friends and with our Wagner's Run Walk family. Just, that's what they are, they're family. And when you go into Wagner's Run Walk, that's what you're going to feel like. You're going to be like, wow, this was amazing. So definitely check them out. Don't forget that you can go in-store or online at wagnersrunwalk.com and you can use code RYS10 for 10% off your favorite purchase. You guys are going to love it. Absolutely love it. I'm already eyeing the A6 Nova Blast. I love my Nimbus from there, but I'm looking at the Nova Blast too. Just saying. So thank you to Wagner's for supporting this podcast, for believing in the running community and all that you do to make Tuscaloosa and the surrounding area better. Keep it up, guys. And thank you, Riley, so much. You are just amazing. Cannot wait to spend time with you when we're back. And just thank you for all that you do. You're absolutely incredible. And I know you're making a difference in Tuscaloosa area. And I just adore you, my friend. So thank you so much, Riley, for your story and for your heart and for making the running community better. Thank you to Greg Gilliard from Gilliard Tech Services. You are the man, always editing our podcast, doing a stellar job. And the website, guys, if you haven't checked out our website, go check it out at runnerstory.com. You can find out Wagner's there. You can also find out our official gym, which is also at the bottom. Wagner's is one of our official running stores as well, so you can definitely check them out. Those links, check out Fresh Junkie, which there's also a link there as well, because you want to sign up for the Tuscaloosa Half and the 5K, guys. Chef's kiss. Do it. Do it. Get those running shoes. Go run the race. It's going to be epic. And that is all because of Gilliard Tech Services. He updates our website so often. He does such a phenomenal job with that. We are so incredibly thankful. He pours his heart and soul into Runner Story, and I could not do this without him. So thank you to Gilliard Tech Services. Guys, whatever website designs, needs, anything that you have, definitely check him out. He's on social media. You can also find a link on our website on Runner Story to Gilliard Tech Services. And make sure you tell him thank you for supporting this podcast, because he pours a lot into it and he just loves it. Our Patreon supporters, we love you guys so stinking much. Thank you for making this possible. Thank you for believing in Runner Story. I say it all the time, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart. We would not be where we are without our Patreon community. Like, seriously, would not be who we are today if it wasn't for people that have walked alongside us and said, I want to support you. So thank you to our Patreon family members. We adore you. We love you. We hope that you are loving the podcast. We hope that you are loving the things that we're doing. And we are just so incredibly proud and thankful that you guys walk alongside us and run alongside us, you know? So we appreciate that. Make sure you like, share, comment, guys. We want to get Riley's story out there. We want to get all your stories out there. We get so pumped. Gray goes in and he looks at the analytics and he shares it with our Patreon community about who's listening to what. He nerds out with all of that. And it's so fun to watch when people went back and listened to other stories. So definitely get it out there. It matters when you share. So if one has spoken to you, go out there, like, share, comment, and we want your stories to be heard. They are so important. They have so many good lessons to be learned and mantras, and I carry all of that with me when I hit the pavement. So thank you to everyone who has ever let us share your stories. Thank you for those that are letting us share your stories, and thank you to those that listen. This is a community podcast, and we are so grateful to every single one of you. So thank you, thank you, thank you. We love you guys. All right, guys, until next time, go run your story, because every story needs to be heard.